Good morning. Good morning. Hope that y'all are having a great day. It's a beautiful sunrise, and yeah, I wanted to just talk about a few things that I had on my mind. One of the things that I think people have been having issues with, at least in this country, and I I would say that's it's a pretty easy problem, is the way of integrating people into this thing called the United States. And I can only speak for the United States just because um, this is the place where I was born at. So I think that I have a relatively decent understanding of some of the problems, and maybe how to give a few solutions to some of the problems. I'm not arrogant enough to think that I got like all the solutions, but I do think I have a few. So one of the problems, integration, right? So integration, so integration, this idea that things can come into the main thing, right? In America, it's an experiment that all the people across the globe, no matter where they are, they can come here and they can find opportunity, because this is the land of opportunity where people can just be free relative to, you know, whatever rules that are here. Obviously there's rules, but for the most part people can come here and they can take advantage of all the great opportunities that America has. And America does have a lot of great opportunities. I've traveled different places, and I would say there are some unique advantages that America has that people would be wise to try to take advantage of. But how do we integrate people into the society, and so that way the people that are integrating into the society can take advantage of the opportunities effectively, and also the people that are already here can feel good about those people coming in and taking advantage of the opportunities that are here. Okay. Um, I've heard so many people have issues with immigration, and that's essentially what we're talking about as far as like integrating, coming into. And then also we have issues with people that are here that are called minorities. And these are minor as far as population goes. But some people take it so far as to say that they're minors because of their power. They might be um, intellect. It might be all types of things that people claim to this minor status. But how it's supposed to go, at least as from my vantage point, is that minor just or a minority is a minor part of the majority. And so obviously in America, the majority is Protestant white. That's the majority as of right now. So or Protestant Caucasian, like primarily from Western Europe. So I I would say in America, anyone who's trying to participate in America, you have to be able to integrate into the Protestant, Western European mind that ended up coming over here to America. So that's essentially what you're trying to integrate into. Okay, so this is how I feel. I think that anybody that lives here for a long period of time knows that there's instinctively that there's some great opportunities to America. But most people just feel like at some level that they're disrespected in some way. Hispanics might feel that they're disrespected because they work hard, and they came over here to America. It's just the fact that like they might not speak the language, or it's because they're from Mexico, and so people just distrust Mexicans for whatever reason. Um, and so they got a chip on their shoulder. African Americans, or so-called African Americans, black people in this country, um, feel that they're disrespected primarily because um, America as a whole has never really apologized for slavery, and also repented of the things that they did during slavery, and never have formally given any type of reparations at all. So because of that, there's a lot of um, distrust and a lot of inner hatred. So that's an issue. You have Native Americans in this country that also went through a great deal of atrocities, and were systematically removed off of their own property and relegated to a thing called a reservation. And so you have that, and all these three groups of people, Hispanic, well, I say Hispanic, not Mexican, but I mean Mexican is like the bigger part. I mean, you do have Puerto Rican, you have Cuban, but like in Dominican, but Mexican is a very Mexicans are a very big portion. But I'll just say Hispanic, just so that way everybody feels good. But you have a large amount of people that feel disrespected, and then you have this an immigrant community of people that come from all different places, and it could be Chinese, Japanese. You could immigrate from like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan. Like you could immigrate from Africa, East and West Africa, like Ghana, Nigeria, or South Africa, or you could be migrating from Somalia or Ethiopia, wherever you come from. And so all these different people, Philippines, Indonesia, Taiwan, wherever you come from, you come here and you feel, and then those people, the immigrant community, they feel like, man, this is great, this is awesome, like, or you come from India or whatever, it's like, man, I got all this opportunity, and you see the opportunity very quickly because you know what you had before and you know what you got now. So it's like, and you also made a choice to come here. Okay, so but you still have people here in America from the minority group that's like, man, y'all come up here and you're starting these businesses and you're starting these things and you're doing all this stuff, and I'm not doing nothing. And mainly because you don't want to say it, but mainly because your limiting beliefs, your ideas that you had before are keeping you down, but you don't want to say it. So you keep your ideas propped up. Like, man, it's other people that are keeping me down. It's other people that are keeping me back, which in some cases it's true, they are. But the immigrant comes and it's like taking advantage of all these opportunities. And meanwhile, you got the Protestant white that primarily came from Western Europe, that's been here now for a little bit, that it's like, has had all the wealth and all the power and all the influence of this nation for so long, and now is like, wait a minute, these groups, these minority groups, these minor groups are starting to grow in number, and not just grow in number like just population wise, but they're also growing in number when it comes to economic strength and political strength. and at least political representation. So it's like, whoa, um, I don't know how this is gonna go for my children or my grandchildren, you know? So I don't really like that. I don't like the way things are moving. And it's not the fact that I necessarily have a racist intent, you know. It's just the fact that when I go to sleep, before I go to sleep, you know, like I might, you know, when I brush my teeth and stuff, take a shower or whatever, I look in that mirror. I like what I'm looking at. There's nothing wrong with that. I like what I'm looking at, and I want my child to look like me. There's nothing wrong with that either. So instinctively, people start to see that their representation at the government level is starting to not look like them, or not think like them, or not act like them, or not in their same circles. And that can give you anxiety because the world that you grew up in is not the world that you live in now. Okay? So these are some of the dilemmas. So the minority groups are starting to gain representation or representative power, and also a little bit of economic power. The immigrant is seeing all these opportunities and coming here and taking advantage of lax policies that allow for them to just take advantage of things and not have to really give anything to the society. And you have the majority group, which is trying to hold on to an old idea. Well, really, everybody is holding on to an old idea, right? Everyone is holding on to an old idea. The immigrant is holding on to this idea of what it was where they lived at, and it's like, wow, America is great. So you're coming here with rose-colored glasses, like, oh, everything is amazing because of how bad things were where I was from. That's an old idea. You know, you're thinking about how things were back then. But in your case, as an immigrant, it's a net positive because you're thinking about how things were back then. Now you're thinking about how things are better here. So that's a net positive for you. The minority group or groups that have been here for forever, these people, they're like, man, this is jacked up. They don't respect us because of blase, blase, blase. You know, it's because we're black. It's because it's because we speak Spanish. It's because we're the native people. Either one, you know. And so whatever the issues are, um, we're holding on to old ideas and old beliefs. And then the majority group is holding on to how things were in the heyday, right? So how things were back then, and now, oh, it's getting worse. Okay, so how do we fix this? Because that's the reason why I wanted to get on here, is how do we fix this problem? Okay, so in my personal opinion, I think that the benefits of the nation, I'm just speaking about America, I think the benefits of the nation are amazing. I think that there's a lot of great benefits to living in this country, but it is disproportionately pushed out to the same people over and over again, and everybody doesn't get to take advantage of everything that's out there. And primarily because the government makes rules that are just dumb. Because there's some great benefits, but it's like, why do only certain people get to take advantage of those benefits? So I just think that everybody should be able to take advantage of all the benefits. I just do. Um, and I understand there's some cases where you should limit some things, but I think that in a free society, you should be able to take advantage of whatever opportunity that's there, um, and available to you. But I think that those opportunities should be clearly and transparently delivered and promoted to the society. It's just not that way in America. In America, like, there's all these benefits that's out there, but you gotta really search and you gotta read. You gotta read. And most people, if they go to any public school, you don't learn to read. Yeah. So I mean, you learn, how to read, but you don't learn the value of reading or a love for reading. So most people, they just don't know what, things that exist. So I feel that all the benefits should be available and promoted equally to everyone. So that way everyone knows exactly what is going on. Not promoted as in, oh, it's on the government website. Nobody's going to that crap, right? So you just need to, if people really want, if the government really wants the citizen to know, they could let people know. You could always get to influencers or people that's on the Instagram or whatever, and just be like, hey, just like they did in the election, say, hey, I need you to let everybody know that this is a government program that's coming out. Give them a check, and then everybody will know. Okay, so how do we fix this? We we one, we make it that all the benefits are available and readily available and also promoted. And then the next thing is that we make sure that every single person, no matter who they are, if you want to be a citizen, there's a few things that you have to do. One, you have to, no matter who you are, you have to take a citizen test, a test of what this nation is. It doesn't matter if you're an immigrant. It doesn't matter if you lived here for all your life. You have to have some type of examination of or exam of what this nation is. And you have to also participate in continuation training of what this nation is about. This way, everybody knows, and also it's an indoctrination effect. So that way, everybody keeps the ideas alive of what the nation is about. So that's all these things are great, but that's not the main thing. The How we ensure that people value the nation is that every single person has to, every person, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter if you're worth a billion dollars, multi-billions, or a trillion, or negative $20,000. Doesn't matter. If you live in this country and you want to be a citizen, you have to give some sense of service to the nation for at least 2 to 4 years. And I'm not saying you have to be in the United States military. I'm not saying that you have to, like, be in the Air Force, Army, Space Force, whatever, right? I'm saying that you have to participate in some sense of service. So the government could create a list of all of these government agencies or civilian agencies that happen to be like nonprofits. It could be like United Way, Make a Wish, Boys and Girls Club, AmeriCorps, any public or private nonprofit, that, and they make a list of things that are actually legit, and they could be all across the United States. And what you have to do for 2 to 4 years is you have to actively participate in those services. And obviously the military will be a part of that as well, but you have to participate in those organizations for 2 to 4 years. And when you do this, after the 2 to 4 years, I'm fine with two, but I think at least 4 years would be great. After you do that, then you get access to universal basic health care, or Medicare for all. You get access to um, like all of the advantages of taking loans out at the bank or whatever, and building your credit. You get access to tax refunds if that's what you need. You get access to low income housing. Um, you get access to food stamps. You get access to anything that the government can provide, and anything that the nation provides, local governments. You get access to that. You know why? Because you dedicated service to the nation. And you know how amazing our nonprofits would be? Do you know how much service we would provide to every single person across the country and also the world? Like, think about if you mandated that, there's some people that would participate in the Red Cross or the Red Crescent. Either way, you would participate in some of the greatest humanitarian efforts across the globe. You know how amazing the planet would be just if the United States participated in something like that. So we're talking about 2 to 4 years, every single citizen. It doesn't matter. And guess what? So now, because you've participated in making the nation better, it won't just be the the military person that will get thank you for your service. Like when people go by and they see military people, they always say thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. I don't really hear them say that to police officers, even though they do a service. But I've seen that always when they do that, when they see people in military in the uniform, they say thank you for your service. And and military people, when they go to stores or they go to restaurants or whatever, they get discounts. You know why? Because they committed their life to a life of service, at least for their enlistment or their commission. This is what every single citizen should get. When you go into a store, somebody should be able to give you a discount. You know why? Because you committed your life to service. You committed some portion of your life to the service of the nation. That's how you get respect. And that's the reason why the majority group has a problem with people coming over the southern border. Is because people coming over the southern border are literally coming in and taking advantage of things here in this nation, and they haven't put anything into the nation. Now, I'm not saying that that people from the southern border don't participate later on, like by doing services for very low fees. I'm not saying that you don't participate. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the perception is that you're coming over the border and you're not participating in the society. That's the perception. I'm not saying that that's the reality. I'm saying that's the perception. And it and when you have black people, Hispanic people, and Native Americans or immigrants of any kind that have been here for a while, for a long time, people start feeling disrespected. And they're like, man, you mean to tell me, like, I've been here all this time and you still don't respect me? Like, you still don't respect me, white people? Really? Like, I've been here for forever and you still don't have no respect for me? Like, come on, man. Like, I've been here. They don't respect you. The reason why they don't respect you is because in their mind, you're not equal. Well, how do we create equality? That's how you create equality. You have a common purpose, common service. Everybody will know that you've committed your life to the service of the nation. That's what you get. When you commit your life to the service of the nation and you commit at least some portion of your time, it makes people know that we're in it together. We're working together. Now, is that going to solve all the problems? No, somebody's always going to find something to hate on. So I'm not, you know how humans are, man. Humans are always going to find something. But what I'm saying is that can fix a whole lot because nobody will have no excuses really at that point. Like, there's no reason for me to keep on bringing up Trayvon Martin or anything like that when I'm going to get the same semblance of respect because I'm an American, because I would be an American at that point. Right now, I don't feel like no American. No. And neither do any Hispanic, and neither do any Native American. They don't feel American. No. I mean, the immigrant feels more American than the minority groups that have been here. It just is like the first generation American and maybe the first generation immigrant that comes over to America and maybe their children, they're probably the ones that feel like they're American the most because they're like they went for it and they got here. But like, the majority of minority groups do not feel like they're American. They just don't. And it's because they don't get no respect. So I'm saying to you, that's the way, to me, that's the way that we fix it. That's the way that we fix it. So you make all the benefits available. You publicize all the benefits that are there clearly, transparently, all the benefits. Everyone is aware. And when you do that, you got to also educate people on what the nation is about and what the nation is for, and the history of it, all the history, the good and the bad. And then you have to create some sense of service that every citizen has to do, and not for a week. Every citizen, no matter if you're Jeff Bezos or you're somebody that's lost everything, you got to commit some type of service for at least 2 to 4 years, and I would recommend 4 years, at least 4 years. You got to commit some type of service. And see, that's where the government could come in and to give some type of stipend while you're on those 4 years, the living stipend. Like I think that would be good. And then all the people that could afford it, you don't get no stipend. But I think that's where you give a stipend. You give a universal basic income there. You don't give universal basic income for just because. No. You give universal basic income for people that are trying to provide something for the nation. And if everybody's trying to provide for the nation, there you go. That's what okay. All right. So that's what I would say are ways that you can fix this. And the last thing that I would say is representation. Like, how am I represented? Okay. There is no reason why somebody from like Tallahassee should that I've never met is going to represent me effectively. There's no, like, why? Y'all, there's no, I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? And just because all these people voted for you doesn't mean that you should represent me. No, man. No, no, no. I don't even know you, dude. And you're gonna represent me just because you got all your friends and whatever. And no, no, that's not how that goes. That's not how that goes. I think that we should represent ourselves. If we can do Facebook votes and all that type of stuff, they could send all the votes right to our phones. That's what they could do. That's what I feel like they can do. They could send any type of bill, legislation, whoever we send up there as voters, those are the people that we want. Hey, anybody that we want to go up there, we vote for people to be our staffers. That's what we're voting for. We shouldn't vote for people to vote for us. No, we should vote for people to be our staffers. So what I mean by a staffer, those are people that go up to Washington, D.C., and they put together these bills for us to vote on. For us to vote on. Those, we say, hey, you get a job. We're going to vote for you to get this job because you're great at putting together these bills for us to look at. Y'all work for us. That's how it should go. They should work for us, not the other way around. It's not like oh, we put you up there and then y'all vote on our behalf, and then, dude, we don't have no mules no more. It doesn't take 20 years to get from Iowa to Washington, D.C. anymore. You know what I'm saying? By cart and buggy. Come on, man. Like, I got a phone. You know what I'm saying? There's a plane. You know, you can rent a jet if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, think like a bus, like a train. I mean, it could maximum, it's called take a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. This is not rocket science. I don't need you no more. I don't need you, Senate. I don't need you, House of Representatives. I don't need none of y'all. I don't need none of y'all anymore. What y'all need to do is y'all need to do exactly what I'm telling you to do, which is you put together the votes. You put the votes, you put the bills and the legislation together. Type it up. I don't got time to be typing this stuff up. You know why? Because I work. Everybody else works. That's what we all work. We're workers. We work, right? Everybody's working, doing whatever they do. You type. You type, I work. So I work. And when you're done typing, you send that to me. And guess what? Then I say yes or no. That's how that's supposed to go. That's how that needs to go. Okay? Well, it doesn't need to go the other way around. So that's what I'm saying to y'all, to everybody here. I'm saying that's what we need to do. We need, and I'm gonna have another video on this because I want to really talk about representation. And I want to talk about some of the ideas that I brought up, but I just want to give that out to y'all. I know that, like, you know, these are things that has been on my mind. We need to stop having people represent us that have they have no good intentions for any of us. They're greedy, and selfish individuals that just want power, and we need to not allow them to have any power. This is the reason why I'm all for decentralization. This is the reason why I'm all for full, true, transparent democracy, but real democracy, not this like quasi republic, like sort of kind of democracy, but socialized things for the rich, and it's just crazy. This is nuts. This is just and I'm for elements of socialism, elements of capitalism, elements of democracy, I see the benefits of almost all systems. You know, I can see the benefits of communism. I can see the benefits of socialism. I can see the benefits of capitalism. I can see the benefits of a republic and democracy. I can see the benefits of these things, but as far as for me is concerned, dude, I don't need nobody representing me. And I don't want nobody representing me. I want me representing me. Only I'm going to be able to fully tell you what I'm about. Period. And the same thing is true with you. You know, same thing is true with us. We don't need these people, man. If you have a difference of opinion of me, then you need to vote that. You vote that. And people say, "Oh, well, everybody's not learned enough, or everybody's not." You're. Come on, man. Don't play games. Don't play games. You know what you know. The things that matter to you, you're gonna vote on. The things that don't matter to you, you're gonna be like, move along, or you're gonna have a no vote or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll just have the same majorities. Like the same people. Everybody voted for the election. If you everybody voted for the majority of people voted in the election for Biden and Trump, right? Okay, so if the majority of people voted for Biden and Trump in the election, if that's what they did, I'm not saying, because for me, both of them, whatever. But hey, you voted as a country, so you participated in that, and you might not have been informed or misinformed, whatever. Same thing is true with any of the policies or any of the bills. You'll just study up and start to learn. Guess what? You'll have a more well-informed populace in society. Imagine that. People will start to think about these things. Why? Because they got to. You know why? Because they got the responsibility to do so. But people don't want you to have the responsibility. They don't want you to have the ability to think for yourself. That's why it's the way that it is. Forget that. You don't need nobody representing you. You need to make the decisions for your life. That's what you need to do. So I'm gonna go into that a little bit more, because this has already been long enough. But I just want y'all to know that that's the way that we can move forward. We have to make sure that every single benefit is available and promoted. We have to make sure that it's educated, or the nation, people have a full education of the nation. They have a continuation training of what the nation is about, and also the history of it and where we're trying to move forward as a nation. So everyone is aware, because obviously everyone is not aware. We need to have a way where people have to give service to the nation, either 2 to 4 years. It has to be. And it doesn't have to be in the military. It can be in like AmeriCorps or United Way or Make-A-Wish Foundation or Boys and Girls Club or wherever, something like that, where you have to give some type of service. And then there has to be a way that we do not get represented by people that are not us. You need to represent yourself. That's how we have a true sense of freedom, where you decide for yourself. I'm not threatened by your decision, by your choice, by how you feel. If you have a great argument, if you have a great idea, it should, and you feel a certain type of way, we should go with, if you argue it properly and you think that it's effective, hey, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? If it's for the betterment of the society. But people that grew up with yachts their whole life do not understand you. People that grew up with, the latte machine and like, machine learning all throughout their house and Internet of Things all through their house do not understand you. They don't understand you. If they had, like, come on, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know. Anyway, I hope y'all have a great day. I hope that y'all are successful. I hope that y'all find peace. And I hope that this has brought value to you and your family and your community. I really do. And I hope that we all are blessed with the light of understanding. I'll leave you till the next time. Peace.